30 million naira, like investment in Ibeju Agbe now. With 30 million naira, I'm estimating to make over 300 million naira selling as an estate.
Hello everyone. So this is Uche Philip Emordi for Ownahome the NG.
This is Zach
Ademola. He's my partner. And if you've been following this channel, if you've been following our content, recently I started talking about what real estate developers, any big time real estate developer that you see in Lagos, you call it all the big names that have bulk land and that have plenty estates, how they are able to fund their project, how they're able to start these estates without, number one, breaking the bank, without taking out massive loans, and without some form of great commitment up front, that's running into hundreds of millions. And then you have them opening estates. You see Landwey has hectares, hundreds and hundreds of hectares in Isimi, Lagos. Recently, Itunu by Veritasi, they were open. There's a very big real estate developer here in Lagos that has hundreds of estates in Ibeju Lekki axis. This mostly works for axis like investment hotspots like Ibeju Lekki and Epe. So this is we're going to do a breakdown of the exact method that they use to first of all source these estates, fund it, start up their own estates, and then make massive profits. And I'm going to reference a particular video that Wale of Landwey had with Tayo Aino, and he was talking about his early days in the real estate game and how he started, and he had a deal of over 600 plots, and he said he made a lot of money. And when you say a lot of money, you're not talking about 20 million, 50 million, you're talking about hundreds of millions. And that is what, like he said, he used as seed money to start up Landway, to start up, and then they moved from there to other estates. So this is how they do it, because most times, and if you see the trajectory, and if you see the way that prices are, going right now, most people might not be able to afford premium places with good title, but this is how they do it without breaking the bank, and I'm going to discuss about that today. So this method I'm talking about is a method called sponsorship. Sponsorship is practically a method where these real estate developers, they go to these ancestral landowners. They either go to them or they approach the ancestral landowners, approach these real estate developers, and they tell them that, okay, we have your land and we want to start selling it. We want to raise money, because most times these moneyless that they are called ancestral landowners, they are not very liquid. They they don't really know how to keep money, and that's number one. And number two, even your bank and wise investments strategies, they will tell you about OPM, other people's money. When you're taking on a massive project like that, you don't really commit your own cash into it. You find a way of outsourcing it so that you minimize your risk. So they approach these developers, they approach these companies and tell them, okay, this is what we want to do. Or you approach them and okay, we want to start up an estate. Let's say we have 500 hectares, 500 acres. We want to start up an estate. We want to start selling this. So the first thing is that when they tell you, okay, this is this, you have to first of all do your due diligence, because there's so much scam in Lagos. It's okay, I'll do my due diligence. Most times when we do our own due diligence, we do a first check, a second check, a third check, and even up to a fourth check. You confirm their title, you confirm the coordinates, the survey plan, survey and title search. Then you also confirm lots of other things from people around, and we'll get back to that later. But that's the first thing that you do. And when you've confirmed it, then you have a meeting with the family, and then there's an entry fee called Owoiwoku. And then when you pay that entry fee, you start with clearing. And basically what you're doing is that you're helping them either clear the land, make your roads to the land, or do the survey or some other things, or maybe ratify the title. In exchange for that, they are going to give you some parcels of land. There's a percentage that they do. Most times one plot to 1 acre, or half plot to an acre. So in exchange for doing that for them, they give you this these plots for your own self. It's a legally binding agreement that they transfer via the deed of assignment. So once that is done, the next step is for you to cut out your own land, and then that land is yours. You can decide to use it, you can decide to sell it, you can decide to even start off your own estates most of the times. And also, another way you can make money is that you meet the developer or you meet the family and tell them that, okay, this remaining plots of land, let's see, you are giving some plots, and the remaining acres, the remaining volume of land, we can help you sell it. And when we sell it for you, we're going to give you the price that you want to sell it at, and then we'll add our own margin. And in fact, that's what Wale spoke of. He said the family wanted to sell it at some particular price, but he found that it was way below market value. So he added up his own markup to it, and then sold the land, and he made lots of money from that. So that's why you see sometimes you see an estate, they have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So maybe like phase 1 and phase 2 was the family's land that they were selling at a markup, and maybe phase 3 to phase 4 is their actual own land. And by that time that they reached phase 3, phase 4, the value, the price, everything in that place has already gone up. So you see how it's compounding for their benefits. And so, okay, we've been talking mostly theory. So let me give you real life examples and deals that we have facilitated and we've done in the recent times. So this is my partner Jerry with Property Day, and he's going to tell us more, and also to see the options. Options are always available, so you can always contact us to see the options that are available, and it's by no means exhaustive what he's going to say. So Jerry, take over.
All right, Uche has said most of the theoretical aspects. Okay, the practical aspect is this. I just concluded a sponsorship deal with family at Ibeju Agbe, Ibeju Lekki, Ibeju town. Now, like he said, the family has a portion of land, over 100 acres of plot. So they needed people to sponsor it for them, and it was a clearing sponsorship. There are survey sponsorship, there's clearing sponsorship, there is reclamation sponsorship, whatever, different sponsorship, depends on what the family wants. And the benefit of the person that sponsors is usually 1 plot per acre. So most of the time, individuals, for example, like me, after doing the sponsorship with the family, I intend to take the whole land from the family and tell them, okay, how much do you want to sell this land? They say, okay, so amount, and okay, I add my own money, I sell for them, give them their own money based on mutual agreement on time to pay up. And from there, I secure the land, put the banner, do the fencing, after the clearing with the family, and I start selling. So right now, I'm done with the clearing of the land, which the video will come up. Done with the clearing. The next thing is to start selling. Now the family is going to give me power of attorney to sell for them, so I can decide to put my estate banner there, put the fencing, and start selling as my own estate. I don't own the land, I just own the portion of the land. But because of the fact that the family believes I have the ability to bring clients for them, to sell for them, hence they give me the power to sell for them. So I start selling the land and start remitting their money for them based on the agreement we had together. So at that point right now, the land belongs to me indirectly. We don't know that the land does not belong to me, but because of the fact that they give power, they say I can sell on their behalf, put my banner on the land, hence I'm staying as an estate. Don't joke with this. Most estate guys get their land through this way, because not everybody have, like you said, not everybody have the money to buy land in bulk, 10, 100 acres, 20, 200 acres, and all. What they do sponsorship. From there, they secure the land. From securing the land, they will take ownership of the land, sell for the family, it becomes phase 1, do the documentation and all. So what you usually need is that get information about any sponsorship deal. We get information for you. We have families that will work with, and we can get the land.
So now let's talk about specifics. Like I said, past deals, or most recent deals that we've done, and also we are going to talk about options that are available for you, because like he was saying, there are so many ways that you can make money from this. First of all, you're making money from the fact that you're already getting some certain plots of land that is your own, then you can also decide to sell for the family and add up your markup in whatever the family lists as the family price, and as well, you can later start selling up your own land as your own estate. So there are several ways to make money, and then most of you might ask, because I was talking with somebody, he was like, what are the risks involved? What if it takes time to sell? What if my money is tied down? So one thing that you need to know is that because we are in the space and we work with both marketers, we work with realtors, and we work with brokers. With the proper marketing plan, you can dispose of that estate. Let's not say dispose. You can almost sell off that probably 80% in a year. Because you need to, first of all, one of the things that we consider when we do is that the location. It needs to be a very, very good location, and also it needs to be a place that we are sure and we're going to set up apart a certain amount to start to develop. Because one thing that so many people to their will I say that is not a plus is that so many people just rack up this and they just dump the estate and they move on. So that's by the way, we want to talk about like real life experiences. So tell us about an existing project that you've already done. Tell us the numbers. Tell us how much did you use in clearing, how much did you use in fencing, how much did you use for the road, how much did you use for all of it, and then what you projected to get from it, and yeah, that's it.
All right. For a project I just did, over 105 acres of land, and for the entry fee was 7.5 million. That is called Owo Iwoko entry fee. It's a normal fee you collect. The family will collect from you for you to start working for them. And you pay the agency fee. Agency fee is normally 10% of the Owe Wako, that's the entry fee, and 10% of the land you get. As a sponsor, you have 1 plot per acre. So for 105 acres, you're getting 105 plots. That is it. So now I spent 7.5 million for the sponsorship. Then for the clearing, about 8 to 9 million naira. 9 million naira to round it up. 9 million naira for the clearing, because depends on what you want to clear. Depends on the land. If it's marshy, if it's swampy, if it's dry, so it changes. The figure changes based on the type of land you are doing at that point. So what I did was 9 million naira. Then that's for the clearing and for the sponsorship and for all. So the next thing you want to pay. Most times, this is Lagos, and you pay money for youth money, all those small 100,000, 200,000 small fee that comes, youth money, community youth money, all those things. You just have to just brace yourself up. In Lagos, if you want to do a road for a community as a gift for them, you still have to pay them. That's how crazy it is. So you just have to just put those things in check. So the next thing was to now that is about 9 million clearing, 7.5 for the entry fee. Then about 750, that is 10% of the 7.5 for the agents that will bring the business to you. Then you are getting 105 plots for the 105 acres. Now, if the plot there's Omonile price, means the family price. The family price is 1 million naira per plot. So automatically you are getting 105 million naira. If you sell as 1 million naira. So you're getting 105 million naira as your gain. With investments that is 9 plus less than 20 million naira, you're getting 105 million naira. But if you decide to sell as an estate by doing your fencing, you spend some millions for your fencing, then maybe
like how much?
Okay, for your fencing for 105 acres, I can't fully give you the details because materials are climbing by the day. I might give you a figure, and by the time you're watching this video, it's already double or triple, or so I can't really say that. But projections that you can actually engineer, and depends on the fence. They got normal fencing, 2 coaches, a full fence, then doing raft and gate house. So all those things can cost some money, some millions. But roughly, let's just say 10 million to do a normal fence, to fence your land and all. 10 million will go well for it. So you are spending 30 million already, then you are making 105 million. That's if you are selling for if you are selling for 1 million naira. But if you're selling as an estate and putting your fence, automatically you'll be selling for, you're selling for 2 million naira, that you're making 210 million. If you're selling for 3 million naira, they're making, can you say, you do the math. So it depends on what you want to do with the land. That determines the price of land. So that's how the figure comes. The figure is quite simple and quite straight. The math is good. If you do a documentation, your research, your due diligence about the land, and if your family is checked, you do it. The numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Yeah. So if you work with that, you have enough. You see that the benefit is quite large. The percentage is quite large with little money. But the only issue is that if you do not do your due diligence about the land, you don't check the family, you don't check the documents and the land if they actually are real, because there's a lot of scam in Lagos. This Lagos is a lot of scam. So if you don't do those things, you are prone to fall into wrong hands. So but that's how the numbers work. You spend little money. I spend 30 million naira, then I start selling us 3 million naira per plot. Do the math.
Okay.
By the time I sell 10, 15 plots, I've gotten my capital back. Now I'm making extra money. And I can even sell for the family. So imagine the family give me the whole 105, because that's about over 600 plots. And the family wants me to sell for 1 million naira, and I'm selling for 2 million naira. I'm making extra 1 million naira per plot they're selling. So can you see the math? It's a lot of money. By the time I'm done, I have enough money to do my own estate. So that's the numbers.
Okay. So he mentioned something about due diligence, and most times due diligence is just something that people say and they don't really have the understanding of it. So for this particular project, tell us what the due diligence looked like. Tell us the issues that you encountered and how you were able to overcome it, and why, if a client comes, they can trust you with the money, and they can trust the locations that we are recommending for them, and they can trust our ability to do proper due diligence.
Okay. All right. What I do for transparency, I tell my clients that if you want to do a sponsorship with me, number one, come with your surveyor, a registered surveyor from Alausa. Or might not be from Alausa, just come with a surveyor that is competent. Now, who's a surveyor? Surveyor is someone that comes with some equipment to measure the land, the location, the size, to make sure you're not buying a government road. You don't buy government road. To make sure you're not buying a government land, a committed land. Committed land means the land that government have committed for a project, a housing project or a commercial project for the government. So the surveyor will come, check the location of the land we want to do, then confirm the document on the land. Does it have a title document, a gazette, a session, CFO, governor's consent, and what have you? That does that. Then it also confirms the name of the family, if the family actually owns the land. So your surveyor will do those things, pick the coordinate of the land where it's on the map, then goes to Alausa to cross-check. If it's tallies, that's stage 1. Now the stage 2 is that the family will say, you meet with the family. The family will claim, we own this land. Where's your proof? This is our proof. This is our name. Government recognizes us. Your surveyor can do that for you. Then the next thing, get a lawyer. That's to make it. So your lawyer will say, confirm the documents. Then you go to the community and ask questions. Does the family have this land? Do they have any issue? All those things is very important. When you check those things, everything cross-check. Then you proceed with your documentation, means the agreement with the family. That is called sponsorship agreement. When your lawyer will draft an agreement with them, they will sign. While signing, there's a video, there's a recording about the whole thing, the whole process. Then from there, you now pay the entry fee. Then the next day, you can enter site when you want to finish the job. So the only challenge is that if you don't do your due diligence, you are in a hurry to make money. That's what happened. But when you've confirmed the document, everything is confirmed. That's when you can be in a hurry, because you can't be in a hurry too much to lose your money. Just take your time. So the due diligence is that get your surveyor, confirm the coordinate of the land. If it's not a committed Lagos land, check if the documents are telling the survey, if the family owns the land. Then also ask questions in the community around that place. That's what I do. I double check. Before I take a client to a land, maybe for sponsorship or to a family, I myself would have visited the family. They have discussed with them. My own surveyors, I have a registered surveyor, will go there, do everything, and bring the result out. I will have my result. Now I'll tell my clients, come with your own person to do check. If they tally, then you can go with the business. So I like to make my client to be involved in the whole process from the beginning to the end. Yeah. So to see everything is transparent for professionalism and for for trust, because it's not just now business, is a long-term thing. So when everything checks out, then my client can go on with that. So I don't think there's any more challenge. If you can do your due diligence, you should be at rest, your mind should be at rest for your investment.
Okay, so one thing again that he, I think, forgot to mention about the due diligence is the fact that you have to be both legally and street smart. So the due diligence, like he mentioned, and sometimes, just like the Magodo situation, what I'm purview to is that there were actually 3 families involved, and 2 families sold it to the Lagos state government. And the actual issue that they're having right now in Magodo is the fact that there's a 3rd family that is always coming up and saying that we were not settled, and they're always settling them, and they're saying it's not enough. So he said, he told me that this particular deal, that when they first of all came, there were like 7 families that said that we own this land. By the end of the day, they ended up being 20-something families. And also, you always go to see the Wale or the king of the place, to make these inquiries and make sure. The truth of the matter is that this is not for everybody, because everybody cannot say, oh, this is stressful. But the truth of the matter is that anybody that is crushing it, that is killing it, it's in Lagos. Just the residential has just been released, and there's a commercial at the other side of it, and he's selling it for 15 million, 16 million, 11 million naira. And then if you go to the other side, I don't even know how they're going to, God knows how much they're going to sell the commercial, and it's deep inside Ibeju Lekki and Epe. So you may not have 20 million naira to Lagoon front just increased from 15 million naira to I think 17 million naira, so you may not have that money to do it. So if you say, this is too much stress for me, then you bring out your 15 million naira, 17 million naira, 18 million naira, 21 million naira. Landwey is even about increasing Isimi Lagos all the way in Agbe to 300 million naira. You bring out your 300 million naira and buy from somebody that has done all the work. But if you say that you want to make money from real estate and then you want to maximize your, instead of spending that much money and just getting one plot, you want to maximize your investment, then you have to look at this as something that you need to do, and you have to do to be able to make sure that, because there's no easy money. Sometimes you talk to somebody and they say, this thing is too easy, too good to be true. But there's still some stress attached to it, where you have to confirm all these things. But somebody has to do it, and it may not be you, but if somebody has to do it, why can't it be you? So that's what I want to mention about due diligence. So now, finally, let's talk about the return on your investment, because nobody makes an investment just to stay, and how we are going to deliver in marketing, deliver in getting your actual plots to be able to start making money. Because you want to start making money, like at least the 3rd month, you want to know that you have at least recouped your investment. You've gotten back your capital, you've broken even. So I think that's what we're going to just end with.
All right. Like I did in my current project with 30 million naira, I'm estimating to make over 300 million naira selling as an estate. And as an estate means you have the intention and the plan to provide some certain amenities for people that will stay in an estate, like light, water, road, security, and the basic amenities that most estates have. So all those things are put in mind if you want to start. So all those things are put in mind if you want to start an estate. But some people say, I don't want to start an estate. I don't have the time, I don't have the luxury to start an estate. I just want to make money and go. So okay, fine. What we'll do is that most of my clients, like a client I worked for in Agbe, I did the sponsorship for him. 70 acres, I got 70 plots. He said he doesn't want to do an estate. So what I did is that my contact, I'm a consultant for different real estate companies also, even though I have my own company, Property Day Limited. I also consulted these guys, like popular real estate companies, and I have their contact, and I told, okay, I have 70 acres. Would you want to do an estate here? They say, oh, wonderful. They come to the place, they confirm the documents, they confirm the location, that we own the land, they give us the land, the deed of assignment was, in our name and everything. I said, okay, fine. How much? And I told them the amount, and they paid 50%, and they spread the balance. So that first 50%, my client already got his capital then times 3. I see. He made his capital, then also got times 3 of his capital, waiting for the remaining 50% to be paid to his account. So at that point, he's relaxed. Now, okay, oh yeah, I'm getting my capital back, I've gotten a lot of money back, I'm waiting for the rest to come back. That's for somebody. So, for example, now, if you now said, okay, I want to do an estate and I want to be involved in it, why not? We'll sit down, do the math. Because saying at an estate, your money, help me say my land.
Just help me say again.
This is how much I want to sell.
Okay.
Make my money. So I want to do estate. So the numbers depends on what you actually want.
Okay. So let's finally explore what are the options available now. Keeping in mind that it's not an exhaustive list. We always have different options available at different times. So, but let's just explore the ones that some clients are on waiting lists. We are in the process of confirming, and we are also confirmed.
Right. Okay. Right now, because I used to have as at some days ago, I have about 6 sponsorship from different families, but today 2 has gone too, because the market is getting more competitive by the day. It's not really something that's common. It's not really common. People have never had sponsorship before.
Yeah.
But now I'm shocked at the level and the rate at which people are actually asking for sponsorship and everything. So I'm even shocked. Okay, now it's 4. Now there's 2 in Agbe now, and 2 in Ibeju Lekki.
Next turn.
And in Agbe, I have about 78 acres for client and 20 acres sponsorship also. In Ibeju Lekki, I have 150 acres and 100 acres for sponsorship, and all of them have documents. But the one in Agbe, the one of 78 acres does not have documents, which but Agbe, most of Agbe is a residential hub.
Inside the estate.
Agbe is a residential hub, and most of the land in Agbe doesn't have title, but they have registered copy, that is certified copy.